Hey, it's Danny. Welcome to Anything Goes, and today I'm joined by Logan, also known as Logan.Toth on social media. Today I'm going to be asking him a couple questions about his TikTok, and by the end, you will know all the secrets to getting TikTok fame. Before we begin, a few quick things. First of all, I do have an Instagram and Twitter, which I'll link in the description. Also, go check out Logan on TikTok, which I'll also put in the description and should be somewhere on the screen right now, where he posts satire videos. Anyways, why don't you introduce yourself to the people that don't know who you are?
Yeah, for sure. My name is Logan Toth. I post satire videos on TikTok. I have around 20,000 followers at the time of recording this. And yeah,
All right, awesome. Why don't we sort of like begin with talking about why you started or how you got to the follower count that you have now?
okay, so I started sometime in around October of 2018. Like
Mm,
that was when I first started posting. That's when like TikTok was basically all irony and just it was like the furries versus the gamers and like
mm,
stuff like that. Like it was basically like the same content. And it was all basically like furries versus gamers and a bunch of irony and stuff. That's where I started, and I mainly just posted for my friends.
yeah.
Got no likes. Probably like I think the most I got was like 5 likes. I posted like 10 videos.
Oh,
Took a long
jeez.
time before I uh excuse me, it took a long time before I posted again until like October 2019. And that's when like I was like, okay, I can make something happen here because like a lot of people say I have a good personality and I can like make something work comedically. And I was like, okay, I might as well just post a TikTok. And from there, everything just kind of took off. It took a while, probably like 4 months before my first video blew up and went viral. But after that, once I became dedicated to building my brand and building up my TikTok, everything just kind of played itself out.
Yeah, so you said that you started all the way back in 2018. How
Yeah.
has TikTok changed from then? Obviously, what you wanted to do has changed, but would you
hmm
say the idea of getting famous on TikTok has become easier as time goes on or more difficult from 2018?
Um, Personally, I found it a lot easier to get famous in 2019 than in 2018. Because in 2018, like I mentioned, I only got a max of 5 likes on one of my videos.
Yeah.
So it was a lot harder to grow your page back then. And like even if it was all comedy based, most of the content, like from there, like there's a lot of new niches and demographics on TikTok now.
Mm.
So I feel like it's kind of easier to go famous now because the algorithm like really doesn't make any sense in my opinion.
Yeah.
But like it's almost completely random in terms of trying to go viral. So for me, I found it easier to grow your brand and to grow your TikTok page in the modern day.
Yeah, and I've heard people say, and I can sort of speak from personal experience, that it almost seems like I'm seeing a lot more smaller creators or people with, let's say, 5 likes pop up on my For You page.
Yeah,
Which,
that is. Oh, okay, you go.
which I think it's a great way, to grow smaller channels, but can almost be frustrating to people that want to see the content that 20,000 people like.
Yeah, that makes sense. To me, like I do get like random people popping up on my For You page personally, and it's like you don't want to see it sometimes, but at the same
Yeah.
time, like you could always find a hidden gem, and that's the great thing about TikTok, in my opinion, because like you never know what you're gonna get.
Mm. Yeah, and then that they they say that you should always start on TikTok no matter what you want to do, because if you start on YouTube, how do people find you? If you have 2 subscribers, I feel like it's a lot different than having 2 followers on TikTok, which I think is the beauty,
Yeah,
like you were just saying.
at one point I did try and grow my YouTube page when I was in like 8th grade or something, and it just never worked out. TikTok is a lot easier to grow your page and to grow um, just to grow your brand in general, in my
Mm.
opinion. And I just think I don't understand why you wouldn't get started on TikTok. I know it might be embarrassing to some people, but like after like it really should not matter like what
Yeah.
other people say because at the end of the day, growing your brand is more important than what other people have to say about you. That's how I feel.
So how did you get past that point though of not caring about what people thought about your TikTok? Because that's really easy to say, but I feel like might be difficult for some people to get through their mind.
For me, what I did, I one of my favorite TikTokers is Gary V. Not really a TikToker, but he posts. He's pretty much an entrepreneur. He posts his content to TikTok, and for me, I watched some of his videos. Pretty much completely changed my mindset on TikTok altogether. Is
Mm.
that it shouldn't be something you should be embarrassed by. It should be something you're looking to grow yourself and to grow your page, and it's just a start rather than something you should be embarrassed by. So for me personally, watching a lot of his videos and changing my mindset on TikTok altogether, instead of looking at it as something that could be embarrassing down the road, I looked at it as a way to grow my platform.
Yeah, and now you're at 20K, and sure, some people might say, "Oh, you're only at 20K," but you have 20,000 people that are now following you that you wouldn't have had if you never started.
I agree. I'm pretty humbled. Like 20,000 people is way more than I expected when I started growing on TikTok. Like I always told my friends that I knew I was gonna blow up. I knew at one point I was gonna blow up, but now that it's happening, like it's just kind of surreal. Like I can't believe that my stuff is getting posted to Instagram meme pages everywhere,
Mm.
Reddit, Twitter. Like it's pretty much going viral. Like my page at the moment, and it's pretty cool. It's surreal.
Yeah, and you said something that I've heard a lot of the creators that have had on here say, which is, I know I'm gonna blow up. And that almost seems like a reoccurring thing that most people that I would ask, are you gonna get famous on somewhere, would probably obviously say no. It's the chances are so low. It's probably not gonna
Yeah.
happen. But it seems that all the people that have gone somewhere had to at one point say, I am gonna do well. I am gonna get a follower base.
Yeah. For me, like I'm normally a very negative person. It's hard for me to stay positive at times,
Mm-hmm.
but I just kind of knew for some reason. Even when back then when I had like 50 followers, I kept telling my friends one day one of these is going to blow up and I'm going to go famous, and they were all supportive, but I don't think anyone expected to be where I'm at the moment, and I'm just very humbled. I knew it was going to happen, but like it's still like I cannot believe that it's actually happening and that like my stuff is actually getting posted everywhere. I'm just really humbled, honestly.
Hmm. So you were also talking about earlier that you never expected to get where you were. Did your goals, like, are your goals different now than when you were at 1,000, let's say?
Yeah, because when I was at 1,000, my hope was to not be a one hit wonder. Because when my first TikTok blew up, I was like, okay, what if I'm a one hit wonder and I never blow up again, and I'm just sort of like stagnant.
Hmm.
And the problem was like when your first video goes viral, a lot of people expect like the next 10 videos yours to go viral, and that's simply just not how TikTok works. There's just a lot that goes into it, and it's really, as long as you're willing to put in the work, and as long as you have some original videos, you can make something work, even if you start off slow like I did. It took me 2 years for my TikTok to finally start going viral and start blowing up.
Hmm.
So it just takes time.
So then, what are some of your goals now? After seeing that you're not a one hit wonder, how has that changed your mindset to what your next goal is?
I think my goal now is just to continuously uh, grow my page. My hope is to eventually make a living off of this.
Hmm.
And right now, I'm only at 20,000 uh, subscribers or followers, and I have like this is pretty much my dream. Like I'm living out a childhood dream of mine. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber at one point. That's where when I was a kid, when I was just like an elementary school kid, I used to watch Skylander videos back then, and I
Hmm.
used to think, wow, this is so cool. I wish I could do something like this. And now here I am living out my childhood dream. At the moment, my goals is just trying to continuously grow my page and hopefully get to a point where I can make a living off of social media.
Hmm. Yeah, those are big goals, and that's sort of a, I wouldn't really say controversial, but it's a difficult thing to touch on, which is
Yeah.
getting making a living off of social media. Not a lot of people can do that, you know?
Oh, I agree. It's not something that's easy. Like I said, it's a dream. I'm going to college right now. I'm going into my sophomore year of college, and being a social media influencer is completely a dream. I'm going to college as sort of like, I can't say it's my backup plan, but it's not my dream. Like, my dream is to make content for people and to make people laugh, and that's just what I want to do.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of social media is that you can go to college and you could still do what you're doing. There's nothing stopping
Yeah,
you from
and
doing that.
I'm pretty happy with how everything's turned out up to this point. I obviously want to continue to grow my page, but at the moment I'm in a good spot for the future, and I hope that this can turn into something even bigger.
Yeah, so I also wanna ask you because your content, as I was saying earlier, it's satire. It's supposed to
Yeah.
be joking, but it's also sort of a subject that not a lot of people understand. You're joking, maybe,
Yeah.
unless did you did you receive a lot of hate when people didn't really understand what you were doing and maybe thought you were being serious about it?
I get so much hate. It's kind of ridiculous. But the thing is, like, I really only look at the positive comments because, like, the people who support me, like, they know that my content is joking and they know that it's satire and that none of what I say is real. I'm never being serious in my videos outside of like maybe a couple where I'm just doing like a quick little update.
Hmm.
But I get a ton of hate because being what am I trying to say here? I've been posted to a lot of Instagram pages, meme pages, and Reddits and subreddits and Twitter and whatnot. I've just been posted everywhere, and just looking through the comments, it's kind of ridiculous how many people like think I'm being serious, and they call me ugly and they call me fat. I've been called a literal like piece of neckbeard shit or something like that. Like, I even get hate messages, and it can be hard to handle at times, but really I don't value hate at all,
Yeah.
but I get a lot of it.
Yeah, so you were just obviously I think you just answered this, but what I think is a little bit interesting is would you honestly say that hate has made you a worse TikTok account or better, if that makes sense, or taught you to deal with it more? Because someone that doesn't receive any hate, I feel anyone who has, let's say, over 500,000 followers is gonna have hate regardless of what they do, no matter how wholesome they are, no matter how great of a creator they are, they're gonna get hate. So do you think that this is almost preparing yourself for what you need to know for when you get bigger?
Um, that makes sense in a way. To me, like, I think in terms of getting hate, it has like I've gotten like progressively like I've valued hate comments progressively better over time, because
Yeah.
like when I first started, it was hard. Like, it's really hard to get into the satire side of TikTok where there's really not a lot of satirical content creators on TikTok. Like, if it's like there are some pages that are obviously satire, but mine is not.
Hmm.
So that's where like I'm shocked that I've gotten this far, because a lot of people on TikTok don't understand satire.
Yeah.
So it can be hard to deal with the hate because no, like there are a ton of people who don't understand my content, and from there it can be hard to grow my page. But overall, I feel like it's helped me deal with hate and help me progress moving forward.
Yeah, which I think it's great. I think it's difficult because I totally understand why the hell would you want to receive hate? It doesn't add up if you said that I want to purposely do it, but I feel like if you're gonna receive it anyway and you don't have a choice, you should look at it as a way of realizing that hate sucks and that you're gonna get it in the future.
Yeah, because like no matter what, like I'm going to get hate in the future. So I just don't value it, because if honestly, like I look at the people who comment hate comment hate comments and whatnot, and send me messages. And for the most part, like they're either like middle schoolers who pretty much looked just like me when I was in middle school, or just like trying to get famous, or like
Yeah.
trying to like be funny or relatable and stuff. And it's like I, I just don't get it. I just find it funny that people like legitimately think their hate gets to me, because sometimes I'll live stream to TikTok and people are like, "Oh, how come you live in your mother's basement?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm 18 years old. There's nothing wrong with living with my parents." But I never
Yeah.
say that. Like I never like give in to the hate. I just kind of like bounce off of it and try to choke it off, because like it just doesn't matter to me.
Do you ever think it's a good idea to address hate?
In my opinion, no, because there are some content creators. I think a good one is Charlie D'Amelio, when she got hate because she posted one of her most famous videos was her "I'm Just a Kid" video,
Yeah.
where she went over like all the comments saying that like she's too skinny and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like that's I just don't feel like it's something you should address. It's something like you should motivate yourself and like try and like joke off of it. I just don't think it's a good idea to address hate and to like let it dictate how you want to create your videos moving forward. That's just how I feel.
No, I think everyone should honestly feel that way. It's just I feel like some struggle more than others to get to that point, which is great that you're
Yeah,
there because that's something you're gonna need when you get bigger. But it just stinks that it's so difficult to realize that hate like means absolutely nothing. Honestly, it's just someone behind a screen typing on a keyboard. But
yeah. For a lot of people, it's hard to understand that, but I've pretty much
got that
blocked out that
down.
hate at this point. Yeah, I
Yes.
know that my content is here for entertainment purposes, so I don't really care what people have to say.
So then it seems like, you have that aspect of it down, but what are some of your other plans to continue growing then?
Um, I'm gonna be posting an update video shortly. What I'm trying to do is get people to come over to my Instagram, join my Discord server, follow me on Reddit and whatnot. And that's the great thing about where I'm at. Like, I may be a small creator, but I have a very loyal fan base. I
Mm,
have a couple of fan pages, honestly. And for a guy with only 20,000 followers, I think that's pretty impressive, because I'm willing to bet there are people with a million followers that don't have fan pages for themselves.
yeah.
So for me, I'm just I'm just happy that I'm at a point where people legitimately enjoy my content. I feel like I'm set up for long-term success. I may not be a big TikToker now. I may not be like a Charlie D'Amelio or like a Brick Nerman in terms of comedy, but I feel like I'm going to get there eventually.
Yeah, I honestly think that is pretty important. Is that would you say you average like 6 7K views per video?
For me, it fluctuates. Like there are some days where I only get like 4,000 views of video, and then
Yeah.
there are some days where I'll get like 10,000 plus, because it TikTok, like its algorithm is very random, and it's hard to like figure out like which one of your videos is going to go viral. So for me, um wow, I just lost my train of thought. Wow, okay.
So then let's say on a bad day you receive 4,000 views, right? You
Yeah,
you have 21,000 followers right now, right?
yeah,
That is already so much better than like 99% of creators who have above 100,000, let's say, and get
right.
10,000 views, which is more than yours, but that's only 1/10 of the followers they have.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Uh,
For me, like I'm just happy that I'm in a position to make people laugh, and that even though like I'm not like I still get like a good amount of views for my following. There are bigger creators that I'm friends with on TikTok. I won't name names, but there are
Yeah.
bigger creators that I'm friends with on TikTok, and I still get more views than them, and I get more viral than them, even though like they might be like a one hit wonder or known for one thing, and that can be a problem, like just being known for one thing on TikTok.
Mm.
But I'm just happy I'm in a position for long term success. that I'm not particularly big now, but I will be eventually.
So then, what is your long term goal? If you had to touch on that a little bit,
My long term goal, we kind of touched on it earlier,
to make a living.
but yeah, to make a living off of this, it's my dream. And if I can continuously grow my page on TikTok, because TikTok's really not going to last forever, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It could, I think it's like a lot of people compare TikTok to Vine. Like they'll say, oh, it's going to die within a year. I think I'd say like give it another like 2 or 3 years, because what's different about TikTok to Vine is like you actually see like advertisers advertising their stuff on TikTok.
Mm.
I really wasn't around for Vine, but I can't imagine that was the case. Like, you're seeing professional sports teams get on TikTok to try and like grow their page, and that's something you really didn't get with Vine. So that's why I think TikTok is in a better spot than Vine, and I don't think it's fair to compare the two in my opinion, but it's a pretty frequent comparison if you ask me.
Yeah, so in your long-term success story, you wouldn't say in the end TikTok is where you end off being, right? You wouldn't say, "Okay, I'm going to make a living off of having 20 million on TikTok and posting ads." Would you say that it's something else that is your end goal to make a living
Um,
off of?
yeah, I'd say I that's kind of tough because I never really thought about that end goal. Like once I leave TikTok, I'm trying. Like I said, I'm trying to get people to join my Discord and my Instagram. If I could, I think YouTube is probably. Excuse me. I think YouTube is probably the best platform to continue to grow my page, but it's just the hardest
Mm.
your to grow your page on, in my opinion. It's just really hard to get your videos recommended if you're a small content creator. It can take 10 years for your stuff to finally blow up, and it's just a loss of motivation at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. And that I feel like that's, although I think TikTok is better off than Vine was, like you were saying, I think the problem with TikTok is that unless you're like Charlie D'Amelio or someone with 40 million plus, your end goal is not TikTok. No one's end goal is TikTok. It's getting a follower on TikTok and moving it off to YouTube or Twitch or Discord or whatever. But I feel like that's the issue with TikTok, that I can't see it lasting a really long time because they need to figure out a way to have creators just on TikTok and have creators specifically grow their channel for TikTok, not to bring it over to YouTube or stuff like that.
Yeah, I 100% agree, because at the end of the day, like TikTok, it's just probably not going to last forever. I think you see people like Charlie D'Amelio and Addison Rae, like they're set for pretty much the rest of their lives. But even then, like there are a ton of content creators on TikTok that maybe have like a million followers or even like 10 million followers that probably won't even like be able to transfer their following to Instagram or other social media platforms, because it's just so centered around that virality of TikTok and that potential virality, that I just don't think it could translate to something on Instagram or YouTube where you can continuously lose motivation if your content doesn't blow up like TikTok does. You know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, I understand. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's the convenience of TikTok that we brought up earlier. Is that it's hard to lose
Yep.
motivation on TikTok when you never know if the next video you post is going to get you 20,000 followers.
Right. Yeah. And just TikTok can, like, you just never know how a video is going to do. It's easier to go viral on TikTok, but it's just harder to continuously gain a following and to continuously like gain a loyal fan base. And that's kind of TikTok's only flaw in terms of trying to be a social media influencer down the
Mm,
road.
yeah. And that's what it seems like you're very focused on, is creating sort of a fan base that will actually follow you, because that seems like what you have to do on TikTok. Is that we keep
Yeah.
saying that TikTok isn't an end goal. Well, then that means your goal has to be creating this close relationship with your fans so that eventually you can bring them over to other platforms.
Yeah, I'm in a pretty good spot right now. Um, I'm lucky that I have a loyal fan base. I've done specific things, like I've implemented like different original memes on my page, such as the Nemo Cup and Captain Logan. Those are like my two biggest memes on my page, and they transfer over to my fan base. They love it. They love when I post videos like that. And I'm in a spot right now where I can try new things. When
Hmm.
about a month ago, me and my cousin set up my own Discord server, and we were, it was an ambitious project. We weren't really too sure how it was gonna work out, and if I could get a well running and active Discord server. But at the moment, we have 400 people in our Discord server, and it's relatively active. So I'm pretty happy with where I am right now. I have a pretty good following and a pretty loyal fan base, even though I only have 20,000 followers.
Yeah, so you just said, you only have 20,000 followers. And obviously, I get it. You're humble about it, but what at what point do you say, "All right, this I am famous. I have blank amount of followers. I'm a big TikTok star." At
Um,
what point can you say that?
that's really like a hard thing. I'd say it fluctuates between different creators, because to me, like, there are some creators that have a smaller amount of following on TikTok, but they have a more loyal fan base. So like guys like Brick Nerman have only 500,000 followers on TikTok, but he has such a loyal fan base and people that will follow him anywhere. Like he has 60,000 on Instagram, 20,000 on YouTube, I think. And then there are creators that have like 5 million followers that only have like 15,000 on Instagram, and they
Mm.
struggle to grow their fan base on other platforms. And for me, like in terms of, there's no like set follower number that makes you TikTok famous, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. So then, what is fame? Is fame loyalty then? Is what you're saying?
In my opinion, fame is loyalty, and I know a lot of people disagree with that, but you could go like I've mentioned before, like you can have millions of followers on TikTok, but if you don't have a loyal fan base that'll follow you wherever, you're just not famous.
Hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting point. And I'm gonna sort of. I always ask everyone this question. You might have heard it before,
Yeah.
but how do you get famous then? In your own words, how do you get famous on social media in general? It doesn't have to be just TikTok.
Okay. Well, I can kind of delve into both, because in terms of trying to trying to go famous on TikTok, trying to go viral on TikTok, there's certain things that you should do. There's no like cookie cutter, like set in stone path that you have to do in order to go viral. There's just specific things that you can do to increase your chances of going viral. So
Hmm.
for me, what I did is I started off trying to use trending hashtags and trying to like get viral instantly, and that just didn't happen. What I did, I changed the hashtags I use. Instead of using the trending ones, I use ones that are more likely to show up on my demographics for you page. So for me, I used hashtag comedy, hashtag funny, hashtag memes, like stuff like that. So your content is more likely to be seen by your demographic. And that's what worked for me personally. Um, Another thing that worked for me is consistently posting. Um, there was a point in time where I'd only post when I felt like it, like maybe once every 2 days. But once I went full in on TikTok and full in on trying to grow my page, I started posting 2 TikToks a day. And once I started posting 2 TikToks a day, I noticed that my follower base and my fan base continued to grow over time. And I just felt like that's what worked for me personally, is using those trending hashtags, or not using the trending hashtags, and get trying to get your content to be shown towards your specific demographic, and that's what worked for me personally.
So you want to get fans that actually want to see your content and not just stumble upon one video they like, is what you're saying, by
Yep.
using the hashtag, I don't know, for you page or stuff like that. Would you still suggest using hashtags like that?
The only hashtags I use, I basically use like the same 7 hashtags, which is hashtag for you page, hashtag for you, and that's important to use some of those because like if you use those hashtags, you will be shown to a wider demographic. But if you want to like narrow down your demographic and to show it towards your specific demographic, like a comedy, like if you want people to see your comedy videos, use hashtag comedy and like stuff like that. That's what I think is. I think that's the best way to go to go viral on TikTok, and that's what worked for me personally.
And then what would you say for people outside of TikTok that want to grow their Instagram or YouTube? Does it change dramatically?
I'd say if you want to grow your Instagram or YouTube, you definitely should get started on TikTok because it's kind of like the thing is you can post like clips of your YouTube videos on TikTok and those are likely to go viral. If people are interested in watching your TikTok clips or from YouTube, then they're more likely to see your content and want to go to your page. I think it's just a good way to start, even if like it's hard to grow your follower base. I just think it's a good way to start because of simply the virality that TikTok can potentially bring to a creator.
Hmm. Would you say you have any other thoughts or stories that you didn't think we
Um,
touched on?
no, I'm pretty happy with how my page has grown at the moment, and it's just been a lot of fun. And I'd say just try not to if you're trying to grow your page, just um try and change your mindset on TikTok and don't look at it as something that is embarrassing down the road. Look at it as a way to grow your page and to be a social media influencer and to be a content creator. No matter how you start, TikTok is a great way to get started simply because of its virality. Even if it's hard to get your followers and your fans from TikTok to go to your other social media platforms, it is possible. It is definitely a way to start being a social media influencer and to start being a content creator. And the virality of TikTok is just it's just a great way to get started if you want to be a content creator.
I think that pretty much sums it up.
I
Pretty
agree.
much, it's a TikTok. I think that's where it's at, and I think
Oh yeah, I agree
no matter
for
where
sure.
you want to go, what you just said basically sums it up as go on TikTok, post something. That's it.
Yeah, as long as you're dedicated and you're willing to grow your fan base and grow your page, I think you can definitely make it. You can make it big time. It worked for me, and I think it can work for anybody who's willing to.
All right. Well, it was an absolute honor having you on here. Really.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
I 100% want to see your channel keep growing. So I want everyone
Yeah.
that is listening to this right now, no matter what you're doing, just go check out. It should be somewhere on the screen right now. Logan's TikTok. Watch one video. If you like it, watch some more. If you don't, you don't. But watch it. I'm sure you'll like it.
Yeah.
And yeah, make sure to drop him a follow. Make sure to subscribe to this. And thank you for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
See you guys.